When I was thinking about the reason why I don't post quite as much during the summer, I thought this is actually a good idea to share with you all. So the real reason is that we eat a lot of the same things on repeat. Summer is very slow for our family. You know, we're a homeschool family if you've been here for a while. And so in the school year, we have a really good rhythm. We've got a great schedule. And then during the summer, we just chill. I mean, chill. And my personality often is one that if I have nothing to do, I don't know what to do. If I have a lot to do, I actually function really well in that type of environment with a lot of things to do, with rigid schedules and things like that. But during the summer, we have nothing really to do. The sports are done, school is done for the year. But there's things around the house that I've been doing. So it's less work things and more around the house things, gardening and things like that. So the meal that we have on repeat over the summer, so much of it comes from our garden. And so I thought that I would share that with you. My day usually consists of getting up, eating breakfast, having coffee, all that kind of stuff. We actually now have chickens, which I'm gonna share a little more about that in a members only video. If you're curious, make sure you're a member in the second tier, the Roost regulars, so that you can see more of that, because I've got a couple of videos coming out for members only and some giveaways in those videos too. We have chickens, so I open the door so they can come out into their run area, go check the garden. So we usually check the garden in the morning and in the evening, water it if need be, although we've been getting afternoon thunderstorms almost daily. So normally when I check the garden, I get tons of stuff. So zucchini, we actually have 2 more of these over here. This one I'm gonna have to turn into zucchini bread because once they get this big, I didn't see this one. It was underneath the leaves, pretty hidden. And so once they get this big, I have to shred them and use them for zucchini bread because they're a little too tough to eat. We have 2 different types of cucumber planted in the garden. We've got squash in the garden. So I try and pull from that, and that often influences what we're having for dinner that night. So it's a very simple summer meal that I'm gonna share with you, but going out to the garden and just picking the things out of there and letting that be a part of our daily routine along with our daily meal is just so satisfying to me. Also, I was sick. It's been like 3 weeks ago, and it has been very hard to recover. Normally, I recover pretty quickly from sickness within just a couple of days. You can probably tell 3 weeks later, I'm still congested. I don't have my energy back. There's thunder. We're gonna get a rainstorm any minute here. I don't have my energy back fully either. So this simple meal that we have been having probably 3 times a week, to be honest, has been such a help. So let's get started on this meal. I do need to wash this cucumber that I got out of the garden. And this is the routine, you guys. I mean, what you're seeing right now is what's happening in our household probably 3 times a week. So this is it. Like you're not missing anything if you're watching this video. So I'm gonna take that cucumber and just dice it up. Gotta save our scraps now for the chickens. Actually, I need to get my scrap bowl back out. I think I put it away. Dice up this cucumber into whatever size pieces you want. It doesn't matter. I've done it so many different ways. This isn't a cucumber salad, but if it was, I would probably make them a little bit smaller because that's how we like them. That's how we prefer them. Or thinner, I should say. and my husband just got home from work. He went into the office today. So as you can see, I heard the garage and so did she. Now, sometimes I will make this portion of the meal as early as several hours before because it can just sit there for a while. Oh, let's just toss it over here. Hey, Bee. Unfortunately, our tomatoes are not turning red in our garden. I was actually reading up on it the other day because we haven't had this issue before. It said that if it's too hot outside, that can be an issue. And we have had 90 and to 100 degree temperatures, and the heat index has gone up to 108. So it has been very hot here, and I'm wondering if that's what is causing our tomatoes to not turn red. It did say, everything I was reading said to leave them there, but I am having to buy tomatoes right now. And then my friend Mandy sent me home with some tomatoes the other day, which was really helpful because we love tomatoes. So I'm still having to buy those. So typically this entire meal would be from our garden, but this one isn't because of the tomatoes. So this filled a lot with cucumber. Normally I probably wouldn't use that large of a cucumber, but that's what we had. So we have cucumbers in abundance, y'all, and I'm just making all the pickles and the cucumber salads. And like I said, we're eating this, multiple times a week to go with our dinner. Now, my daughter does not like this one. She will eat the tomatoes. She's actually not a fan of cucumber, but our son will eat this. So she'll just eat the tomatoes out of it. This is a recipe that I adjust and play with, just depending on what we have, what kind of flavors we're working with. I have put feta in here, basil in here, some dill. You can do a more savory version. You just almost can't go wrong with it. Just dump stuff in and let it marinate for a bit and it's gonna be delicious. Okay, another thing that I have in abundance right now is basil. So let's get some of that. I actually have some in my outdoor garden and in my indoor garden. I'll just take the leaves off of this and chop them up and add that in as well. Like I said, you don't have to add this at all. I pretty much always have basil. So we toss that in for good flavor. Right now, I don't have any dill, but that's really good in here too. I might put some, why do I not have words? I might put some of the dried dill in. I do the slightest touch of oil. This is avocado oil. Probably a teaspoon is all you need. If you want to do more, that's fine too, but that's really all we need. Red wine vinegar is delicious in here. You can also use rice vinegar, you can use regular vinegar, you can use apple cider vinegar, whatever your preference is. I just think the red wine one is perfect for all these flavors. So I'm gonna go with a couple tablespoons here, maybe let's do like 3 to 4 actually. You really want these to marinate and almost pickle to a degree. Another thing we've been using a lot lately is this Fire and Smoke Society potato slayer. Now I have other spices from them too, but this one is completely mild. There is no heat level to it at all, and it is very good. And I'm gonna use it again tonight because we've been using it on repeat, okay? So if you don't have this, that's totally fine. You can use salt, pepper. I would use a little bit of like Italian seasoning or an Italian blend. Maybe some onion powder, garlic powder, if that's your thing. But those are the kind of the flavors that I would go with if I was making this without the potato slayer. And I'm probably gonna put a total of 2 teaspoons or so in this amount. And obviously whatever goes in here depends on how much I have of the cucumbers and tomatoes. So shake that up, get all those flavors mixed together. And then I'm just gonna pop this in the fridge and just let everything marinate until we're ready to eat. I might go and kind of like toss it around a little bit a couple of times just to make sure that it's all working together. But y'all, it couldn't be easier. It's just so easy. Let's just give it a quick taste and make sure it doesn't need anything else. Come on. It's so good. It's so good and so easy. All right, so like I said, we always start with that because you want them to marinate for a little bit. Then I move on to the next step, which is zucchini and squash. Both of these are from the garden. We need to wash them. So we just cube these Just cut it into bite-ish size pieces. I'm gonna toss them in this bowl. Oh, those were kind of big. Some of those are large. Were to randomly show up at my house during the summertime and we were about to sit down and eat dinner, this is probably, there's a good chance this is what you would find on our dinner table. This was a pretty big zucchini. I don't know if I'll end up making all this tonight. We'll see. Moving on to squash, which I feel like I put squash in the coop yesterday and they didn't love it, so we'll see. So we've got our squash and zucchini in here. You need minimal oil because we're gonna be air frying these. So maybe a teaspoon, again, don't need much at all. And like I said, this potato slayer we have been loving and I'm using it again, okay? Salt, pepper, let me just tell you, okay? Salt, garlic, onion, pepper, cayenne, which is surprising because it's not spicy at all, paprika, apple cider vinegar powder, dill. That's it. So that's what you want to use if you want the same flavor and you don't want to buy these. But I will say the cost of this potato slayer is very, very good for this size seasoning. All right, so good amount of seasoning here. We want to make sure these taste really, really good. We're skipping out on the oil because we're going with air fryer mode, but we're going to add good flavor. Okay, that's probably 2 to 3 teaspoons. The sodium is not too high on this though. Okay, now we just mix all that together. We're gonna be making these in this Sara Nosh oven. It is a 10-in-1 steam oven with air fryer function. So you can use the steam function, air fryer. There's dried for like making dried fruits and jerkies and things like that. You can bake in it. You can ferment for your sourdough breads or any type of breads really. You've got a steam clean option, which is fabulous, by the way, because if you've ever tried to clean your oven, air fryer type of thing, that's a pain, like a real pain. So that function alone is amazing. All right, so we're gonna be making this in there and we are gonna use the air fryer. I also think the steam function could be really good with this zucchini and squash. However, I love the little bit of, it's not necessarily a crispiness, but like maybe like a little bit of a crispiness that you get from the air fry function. So that's what we're gonna go with tonight. There are a couple of things that are really neat about this Sara Nosh oven. First of all, the size. It is very compact, which is fantastic. So if you don't want a big bulky appliance on your countertop, this is definitely a great option. Maybe you don't have the option to have a big bulky appliance, but this can take the place of a lot of other appliances. Another really neat function about this one that I've not seen before on an air fryer is the steam function. So you've got this little thing right here that you pull out, you put water right in here and you can steam cook in this. So if you like to steam your vegetables, steam fish, things like that, this is a great way to do it. Like I said, we're gonna be using the air fry function today. I am going to go ahead and get these into the air fryer where I line mine with parchment because it just makes cleanup easier later on. Always do that for pretty much anything. So we're gonna go ahead and fill this basket here with the squash and zucchini. I'll probably do a couple of batches. I never mind doing a second batch and then having leftovers for the next day because then for lunches, we can just heat up some of our favorite Just Bare chicken tenders in the air fryer, and then we can have this as a side. Let's put this into the air fryer. I usually let it go for like a good 20 minutes or so. I'm not even sure how to explain it. I just like it when it gets a little bit of that crispiness on it. So I leave them in maybe even longer. I almost don't mind if they get a bit of a char on it. I was showing the steam clean function, so it's still a little bit wet in there, but let's just slide in the zucchini and squash, turn it on. I'm gonna air fry, and I usually like to air fry at 375 for this. I'm gonna start at 12 minutes, and then we might shake it up a little bit and see how much further we need to go. we just pair this with a protein. It doesn't matter the protein. We've done chicken thighs, chicken breasts, we've done trout, steak, whatever the protein is. I just go out to our outdoor freezer where we keep all of our proteins, pick which one we're gonna have, and that's what we make. So tonight we're gonna do chicken breasts, and I'm just gonna make them on the stovetop. Again, here's another way we adjust to kind of change it up. Depending on the weather, it might be on the grill, it might be in the cast iron, it might be on the in the air fryer. There's just no, I mean, there's so many different ways you can go about this. And again, I'm gonna go with the same flavor because this is truly what we've been using so much lately. So it's letting me know it has reached temperature. And I wait a while to make the chicken. So I wait until the vegetables are almost completely done before I make the chicken, because the chicken takes hardly any time, because I take our chicken breasts, lay them out and cut them in half this way to thin them out. You could also pound them out if that's your preference, but I just think it's so easy to thin it out, and then we get more, and I'll make this is 6. We'll probably eat 4 tonight, and then we'll have 2 for leftovers for lunch tomorrow. Okay, flip over and season the other side. All right, so tell me, first of all, I wanna know in the comments, are you a gardener, and how is your garden doing? Tell me what you have in the garden. And then if you're not a gardener, that's fine too. You can tell me that in the comments. Maybe you have goals to have a garden one day. But I also wanna know, what is your most common summer dinner? Is this something similar to what you're having if you have a garden, or is there something else that you're eating a lot of? Tell me in the comments, I wanna know. Honestly, maybe you'll give me some inspiration so that we're not eating this three times a week, because I'm sure my family, my children at least, would be like, yeah, please. That was 12 minutes, and they're actually looking really, really good. So I am going to toss, and then probably go for like another 8. The squash and zucchini went back into the air fryer. Now I'm gonna take these over and make a few of them in the pan. We're just gonna sear them, or just in the pan. Really, really simple. Put a tiny bit of oil in the pan and you're good to go. I usually cook 2 at a time, which honestly just takes a couple of minutes. And then once these are done, we'll throw all of them back in just to make sure they stay nice and warm. This is where I just take them and just nestle them back in the pan. I do have my heat on low now, but this is just to keep them warm until we serve. So super simple and easy. Super simple and easy. Just keep them in there for a moment. Look how incredible this looks. Slightly steamed and perfectly air fried. You can shop the Sierra Nosh oven through the link in my description box. Use the code AMNOSH for the lowest price available at $169. Okay, we always heat our plates because it keeps the food warmer longer. I also like to serve the tomato cucumber in this right here because then it doesn't run all over the plate and mix together. Okay, give this a shake, and then we can just pour into bowls. Look at that. I mean, so good. These plates are just so vibrant and rich in color when we serve, or when we eat this type of meal. It's just beautiful. All right, let's take some of the squash and zucchini. Oh my gosh. Okay. We're okay. Take some of the squash and zucchini and plate that. When we take the plate over, we're gonna put some chicken on it. And to top this whole thing off, I made WILDGRAIN croissants. I mean, this is the summer meal right here. And I am not exaggerating when I tell you that we have been eating this multiple times a week. All right, friends, so we've got the chicken here. I mean, we're gonna taste test it for you, but let's be real, we have eaten this, I don't know,
summer meal
several times recently. So the chicken is always delicious when we cook it this way. That potato slayer is so good.
It's that seasoning. And twice now, I've used it on fish.
Yeah.
Actually, trout. We've done trout the last 2 times we've done fish, but it's really good on that too.
Yep. Zucchini squash, always good. And then tomato cucumber. This is like one of my favorite things.
Yes.
I could eat this for several snacks every day.
Yep.
It's so good.
What's your seasoning on there?
Potato slayer. We live on potato slayer.
Yeah.
And then obviously, because we love wild grain, we had to add a wild grain croissant.
So I was looking in the freezer a couple nights ago, just for whatever. And I found that we had a forgotten about wild grain bag of toast.
It's a croissant loaf.
It's kind of like a, how do you pronounce it? Challah or challah?
Yeah.
French toast.
Yeah.
But it's kind of like that. But so we've been snacking on that at night the last couple nights. It's really good.
Too much. Are we almost done with it?
It's done.
Okay.
It's done. I downed 2 pieces last night, so it's done.
Nice. So this is it, y'all. The video idea came from the fact that this is our summer meal.
Yeah.
Like it's on repeat. Our verse today comes from Psalm 34:8. Oh, taste and see that the Lord is good. Blessed is the man who takes refuge in him. I hope that you enjoyed seeing this summer meal that we just keep having over and over again, that we're enjoying so much. And hopefully it gives you some inspiration for easy summer meals that you can make. Again, let me know in the comments what your favorite summer meal is that you've been having on repeat. And if you want to see another video that I just know you're going to love, check out the one that I have listed above. It is delicious. Hope you're having a great week.